everyone, welcome to Under San Francisco Hidden Gems. My name's Erica Cataray.
And I'm Cameron Davis, and today we'll be taking you to San Francisco's own Japantown.
Japantown is a 6-block radius neighborhood where history and modern Japanese culture collide. Let's take a look.
After the 1906 earthquake, Japanese Americans moved to where Japantown is today. Originally, the neighborhood was 30 blocks, but during World War II, it was reduced to a 2-block radius. It's home to authentic Japanese cuisine, bookstores, supermarkets, and entertainment. This town really immerses its visitors in Japanese popular culture. It brings thousands of visitors every year for its festivals, food, and shopping.
Our upcoming interview is with Chef Kaz Matsune. If you haven't heard of him before, he has served Hollywood clientele that included Mick Jagger, Denzel Washington, and Leonardo DiCaprio. Chef Matsune has been teaching classes here in San Francisco since 2011. We got the chance to talk with Chef Matsune before one of his sushi making classes.
Hi, I'm Kaz Matsune. I'm the Sustainable Fish Director at Breakthrough Sushi. Breakthrough Sushi is the sustainable team building sushi company, and we also do private sushi dinners. I wanted to work in a restaurant always, and one day back in 2000, I decided to work for the Japanese restaurant. And I walked in and I said, I want to work here, and that's how I started becoming a sushi chef. So we get fish from a company called the Monterey Fish Market. They're in Pier 33 in San Francisco. So we decided to start using only the sustainable fish for our classes and private dinners. The most favorite part is that when I see them having fun, or when I see them making their first California roll. So when they make their first roll, they go really bold, and it's really something magical happens. I can't put into words exactly what it is. They're sensing. I mean, I can sense their excitement and the joy in that. So there is a general rule of thumb which goes like this. So you start with lighter fish to move on to medium to stronger flavor fish, or the more like a fatter fish. So a good example is start with, say, white fish like halibut or snapper, then move on to maybe albacore or tuna. Then fatty part of the tuna, like tuna belly or like hamachi or the yellowtail and so forth, that has more fat content. So that in the beginning you can taste the subtle flavor of the white fish. So that's the rule of thumb when you're eating sushi. That being said, best way to eat sushi is to eat the way you like it, in any order you like, knowing that there's that guideline. Because I think the most important part is to enjoy it. Instead of putting wasabi into soy sauce, put directly onto the fish. Then dip into the soy sauce. That way you can taste the soy sauce, fish, and wasabi in your mouth, and then you start to chew. That starts to blend in your mouth and start to create deeper flavor or taste. Because the fresh wasabi has a really nice aroma, and when you put into the soy sauce, actually soy sauce kills the flavor of the wasabi. So that way you want to keep the wasabi out of the soy sauce. As simple as technique is, and it's true that you can learn how to make sushi. And for me, I think it took me like 3 months to be able to make a California roll and feel comfortable serving to the customer at the restaurant. Then from then, you can just keep going as long as you want and as deep as you want to. It has that depth. And I think that's what keeps me going as a sushi chef, because of that, the indefinite depth of the complexity of making simple dish like sushi. One thing I tell people about the Japanese cuisine or there's a saying in Japan, and it goes like this: the depth of a relationship with a person is measured by how many meals you shared with that person. It's not just a mere physical food that nourishes your body, but it's also something to nourish your inner being or the emotional well-being, which is very important because it's more fun to share a meal with somebody than eating alone. And I think Japanese culture as a whole, they do understand that, and that's showed up. That is showed up in the meal, the Japanese cuisine, sushi, for example. It's my hope, or that people would feel that, or at least get a glimpse of it and experience that in my class or in the meal that I offer.
That was the very talented Chef Kaz Matsune. Be sure to check out his sushi classes at breakthroughsushi.com.
We're going to take a short break, but be sure to stay tuned because when we come back from that break, Erica will be having Melody Takata here to tell us all about the taiko drumming school at Genryu Arts.
The American Cancer Society Discovery Shops are a chain of unique retail stores that help fight cancer.
I shop here because it helps save lives.
Their proceeds have helped fund over 40 Nobel Prize winners.
I don't just shop here for the designer clothing. I shop here because it gets me involved.
You can find everything from clothing and jewelry to furniture and collectibles.
I shop here because it matters.
And for the great deals.
Much has been done, but we still need to do more. Discover for yourself. Discovery Shops.
When it's time to choose healthcare for your child, you want the best. When it's time for your child's physical exam, you want a professional you can trust. At Valencia Health Services, your time is well spent. We provide professional quality healthcare. Valencia Health Services, dedicating quality time to every child, every visit. Committed to professional healthcare because your child's health is our first priority. Valencia Health Services, quality time because we care.
Hi everyone, welcome back to Under SF. We are currently in Japantown and we're going to take a look at Genryu Arts Taiko Drumming and Dance School. The Genryu Arts is a non-profit organization created to bring together the community in Japantown. They provide opportunities to participate in traditional and modern Japanese arts. We have a special guest here today, Melody Takata, to talk about the importance and history that her students are learning in her taiko drumming classes. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you, Erica.
So what exactly does taiko mean?
So taiko means Japanese drum, and we also do dancing besides drumming and some other cultural arts. But taiko's been our main activity.
Oh, nice. And how did it exactly start? What made you want to become an instructor?
Well, when I started teaching at the Japanese Cultural Community Center in Northern California, it was just for seniors because my father always wanted to play drums, so it was kind of nice to be able to teach seniors. And through that, some parents approached me and asked me, hey, can you teach my 4.5-year-old son how to play drums? And I'm like, I never done that before, but we'll give it a try. So it started off that way.
Wow, how many years have you been teaching?
Over 20 years now.
And you said the earliest age your student can be is 4 years old, right?
Correct.
How does it feel to just watch your students grow up throughout the years?
It's a real joy and privilege to watch them grow up in our school, serving the community, performing, and watching them become adults. And actually some of our alumni, students who, once they graduate from high school, when they go off to college, some of them have returned and actually performed with us at our 20th anniversary concert. So yeah, that was extremely special. Every time they came for rehearsal, I would shed a little tear. I couldn't help it. It's like, oh my goodness. It's very touching to be a part of this community and having the kids really embrace the idea of working with the community.
Yeah. Can you talk a little bit about the cultural outfits you guys wear?
Sure. Lots of times we wear what is called a hanten, or sometimes they call it a happy coat. And it's worn as part of omatsuri. And omatsuri means festival. There's different festivals throughout the year. So it's always a celebratory sort of outfit that you would put on to play drums.
Oh, and what goes through your mind as you're drumming?
As I'm drumming, mostly about trying to keep everyone playing in sync together with each other. So lots of times I'm having to play what is called the G, and the G is just the main timing instrument. And so people are listening towards my drum and I'm listening towards them, because sometimes it's like a runaway train. If they start taking off and I'm still playing another rhythm, it's like, ooh, either I have to get quiet or I have to kind of pick it up with them. So it's kind of a cooperative without saying anything. People really have to listen to each other well.
Yeah. And why is it important to preserve taiko drumming?
I think it's important because it's something that anyone can play. It's something that brings community together. It gives them strength, and it gives us hope about the future.
Yeah, oh, well, that's wonderful, and thank you so much
Thank
for
you,
joining
Erica.
us. When we return, we'll be looking at the 4th annual Sumo Champions exhibition in the Japantown Peace Plaza.
At first, I was a bit hesitant to try it.
To tell you the truth, I didn't think I'd fit in. But I kept pushing her and she ended up loving it.
I was surprised. It was an amazing experience.
And now we do it at least twice a month.
I've even gotten most of my friends to do it.
If you do it enough, you can get a great deal on the price.
Why didn't we think of this before?
It's a stimulating experience.
The Z-Space Studio.
Word for word.
Z-Space Studio, word for word, stimulation guaranteed. See you at the theater.
What if we could make a difference with every cup of coffee we drink? With Fairtrade certified coffee, we can. Look for this label where you buy your coffee.
Welcome back to Under SF, everyone. Thank you for joining us. Right now, we have a very special treat to show you guys.
Are you ready to see some of the heaviest human beings ever? We went to the 4th annual sumo exhibition that happens every year in the center of Japantown's Peace Plaza.
This completely free event showcases 4 of the world's sumo wrestling champions, one of which is a man by the name of Yama. Yama is a 2-time world champion weighing in at 600 pounds.
The other champions are Byamba, a 370-pound, 4-time winning world champion, Roy, who is 380 pounds and the current U.S. sumo champion, and lastly, Kelly. He's a 5-time winning U.S. sumo champion and holds the Guinness World Record as the heaviest person to ever run a marathon.
Kelly was kind enough to tell us about his experiences as being a sumo champion. Let's take a look.
My name's Kelly Knighting. I'm a 5-time U.S. sumo champion. I've represented the U.S. 10 times at the World Sumo Championships. And I've swam great long distances, up to 22 miles in Navajo Lake a couple months ago, and I'm a ran 3 marathons. So, while sumo wrestling is a sport for big athletes, and in America, usually if you're big, you're not an athlete. They don't put those two together. But we're bigger than every NFL lineman pretty much out there, but we're athletic. We run marathons, we swim, we compete, we're highly competitive, we're passionate about what we do. And so, it's maybe a small niche in America, but we're all about big and we're all about athletic. And sumo fits the bill perfectly. I've been doing this for 15 years, and I've been to dozens of countries, both paid gigs. People like sumo. It used to be a sport only for royalty, in fact, and so royalty, so to speak, pays to bring sumo there. But I've also competed all around the world at the World Sumo Championships, and then here in the U.S. at the U.S. Open and other international tournaments.
Hi. You
This is the guy you need to talk to.
Who was that just photobombed?
That was Biyama, the 4-time world champion. He's arguably the very best sumo wrestler in the world right now.
Wow.
He would win the Olympic gold if the Olympics were going on right now. He's my toughest competition. I've wrestled him hundreds and hundreds of times at demos, tournaments, all kinds of activities with sumo involved in it. Usually it's he and I that go with a couple of other people, and I've never been able to beat him in a legitimate match.
Wow.
He's just incredible. Well, some of the things I think about is it's the calm before the storm, and so I try to be calm and I try to focus and get ready for the storm. Because once the word Hakio is mentioned, any kind of in Hakio, you come firing out there and it's war. The dohyo represents the battlefield, and it's just all about the whole sport. 2,000-year-old martial art is about war. It stems from the samurai, and so once Hakio is said, it's war, and you're kill or be killed. And so I try to be calm and focused, and I get ready for that initial burst. Well, I'll do it as long as my body holds up. I'll just keep doing it forever. I'm very gifted. I'm 45 years old. But just 2 months ago, I swam Navajo Lake, 22 miles. It took 24 hours.
That was great.
And it didn't get much publicity coverage, but it was a greater triumph, I know, than swimming the English Channel, because the English Channel is 20 miles, and there was hardships involved in it. That's a whole nother story in itself. But I'm going to do this for as long as I can, as long as my body holds up. I'm just going to keep at it, unless my wife forces me to lose weight.
Wow, I wish I could run a marathon that well.
Same. I can't even imagine being in the ring with them.
Neither can I. Well, thank you so much for joining us on Under SF today. We would like to give a special thanks to Melody Takata, the U.S. Sumo Exhibition, and Katz Matsune for helping make this episode happen. See you next time.